name is Sammy, and I'm going to talk about the police in America and their belief that they can break American law. But that harassment does not stop there. An anonymous man was exercising the right of freedom of speech given to him by the First Amendment. As he was protesting against abortion, 2 officers told him he needed to leave and stop talking, even though that is prohibited by the First Amendment, and he was in a public place. But as he knew his rights, they could not fool him, so instead followed him and attempted to intimidate him. Furthermore, there is evidence of police in Washington State driving unmarked police vehicles, which is illegal under state law, but still nothing is done to stop this. An issue that is prominent today, as it has been throughout history, is police brutality, and the African American community have often been the target. As seen in July 17, 2014, when Eric Garner, who was unarmed, was killed after a New York police officer used a banned chokehold technique to restrain him, after a complaint was filed that he was illegally selling single cigarettes, and the only police officer investigated, Daniel Patano, was not given any charges. And there are similar cases like this, as the study shows that 1,134 young African American men were killed at the hands of law enforcement this year. And although African American males between the ages of 15 and 34 only make up 2% of the US population, they make up more than 15% of all deaths logged this year by an ongoing investigation into the use of deadly police force. In 2015, African Americans were killed twice the rate of white, Hispanic, and Native Americans, and around 25% African Americans were unarmed compared with 17% of Caucasians. And it's these acts of brutality that just lead into more problems for the country. For example, with the Ferguson riots. And rather than helping people, the police were just wasting time clearing up messes they started. Thank you. Yes, that's right.
Do you think when someone is trying to become a policeman, do you think there needs to be more repercussions so not just anyone can become a policeman?
Yeah, I think they should. They should definitely make sure that they don't have any biased thoughts towards other races. Yeah.
Do you think the police officers are brought up on hating other races?
I don't think that's really the case. I just think that the power goes to their head, and then they just use the power to get at people they don't like.
Why do you think that this topic has raised so many heads for us here in the UK, when obviously it's something that happened in America, and that key incident that you mentioned is what raised a lot of awareness? But why do you think it has affected us so much here?
Because this country is very multicultural, so there's a lot of other races in this country, and they might get quite offended, and they might want to stand up for it as well, even though it's not happening in their country. Jasmine.
What do you think the media can do to shine more light upon the situation? Because I don't think they really do that much. They show other stuff, but they don't show the seriousness of it.
Yeah, they should. I don't think they should allow the media to be biased. So they should give more than just one view about how the situation was and how the situation was handled.
As you said, the police brutality in America is over the hill, and if it continues, things will get pretty much. So what do you think would happen if, to our social development, our multicultural society, police brutality such as this continues on? What do you think should be done in order to stop it or improve it? Improve it by improve how a police force works.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely going to slow things down, because it could cause other racial communities they might become aggressive, and they could start like causing violence and stuff, and it could cause more problems. I think that they could sort it out by giving more, by actually charging the officers, because that the officer, I think his name was, I can't remember his name. Daniel Patalio. He used a chokehold that had been banned to restrain the man, and he wasn't even armed, but he wasn't given any charges. He was just let free. And so that kind of gives a bad example. And there were other officers around. They weren't doing anything to stop the officer using the illegal chokehold. So it just leaves the examples that they can do whatever they want.
So a following up question, as you said in order to, you already stated how to improve a police force. And what do you think your opinion is about, because from my guess, in the police force, not to mean any offense, from the side of it, since we're targeting South Americans, black people, do you think it would be a good idea to make the police force recruitments open to different cultures and religions, so it would lessen the amount of crimes focused on one race or culture?
I don't know, because even back when it was more of a problem and nobody was doing anything about the police doing stuff to the black community, I think, and there were still black officers doing stuff against black people. So it wasn't really the fact that it was because they were white. It was more the fact that they were just taking the power and doing whatever they wanted with it.
Okay, thank you very much.